Howdy, Possum Patty here, and I'm working on my In the Haunted House Junk Journal Halloween Fall Memory Keeper. I have a lot of things on my desk, so you know I'm going to have some fun. First, I found this letter typewritten to me in 1975 by my little sister Kathy. And it is about the black cat that is here towards the back of the book. With me in this picture. About how the cat got lost and hasn't come home. So I'm just going to tuck this little letter into the pocket here next to the picture. So that was the first thing. And the second thing is, I went to the Dollar Tree and I got this awesome Batty garland. All black and sparkly purple. And I have 2 books about bats. So I ripped out a picture from one of them. And I have some Dracula Halloween pictures of friends and family. And I think on this page in the Halloween journal, the one with the little bats on it, I'm going to go ahead and design a Batty fun page. I thought I would use the garland, some kind of trim across the top so it kind of pokes up a little bit. And then make a little pocket at the bottom maybe. And on the pocket I have this picture of a poster from the old Dracula movie starring Frank Langella. And I think I'll put that on the pocket and a couple of these little purple batty things that are falling off the garland all over the place. And that'll be on the pocket. And I'll make something to put in the pocket. And opposite page, I have the top to a box of candy with a nice big window in it, which is really too big for a photo, but it fits over this page that I took out of the Bat book. And I think I'll put that on this side and then make something to maybe put inside there. Make it a pocket or something. All right, I'm going to work on some ideas and I'll be right back. For this page, the first thing I did was cut the window to size, and I'll probably sew that on and make a pocket. But before I put the inside picture on, which is here, I think I'm going to collage some bat pictures and words about vampire bats around on the frame. So here's what the front of my pocket's going to look like. I changed my mind and I put the picture of the vampire bats in the pocket instead of the other one I showed earlier. And I just ripped up some of the pages and put them around the edge and put the title from the vampire bat page in the corner. But I think I wanted to stress some of these book pages. So all I did was take my Ranger Distress Oxide Vintage photo and press it on my mat. And spray it with a little water. I'm going to take a little cloth and just kind of rub it on. Get a little bit grunged up. Okay, now, probably wipe this up. You let this dry. I found this card and I think I'm going to put this in the pocket. Starry, Starry Night, Vincent van Gogh. And it's a note from a family member. And on the back I put this little quote from the beginning of one of the Bat books. Dark shapes glide through the night sky on silent wings, their sinister shadows outlined against the light of a full moon. Swooping down to the earth, they hover near houses and deserted buildings, breaking the peace of the night with their disturbing presence. Carriers of disease, drinkers of blood, companions of witches and demons. Bats, the very word brings a shiver of fear to most people. I thought that was kind of cool, so I'm going to include this in the pocket, and I put a little sparkly bat on the inside. And now I'm going to work on a couple more cards to put in the pocket. I think that distressing came out pretty good, and all I did was use my sewing machine to stitch around the pocket with a brown zigzag stitch. And now my pocket is ready. I made one of the tags so far, and this is a friend dressed up as a vampire. On the back I put a little educational card about bats. Without a doubt, the bats that inspire the most fear and that have the worst reputation are vampire bats. They have inspired all kinds of tales and legends due to their strange diet. They feed exclusively on the blood of mammals and birds, above all domestic animals, although they can also attack humans. And I ripped that out of the book. I put a little distressing around the edge, and in the background I used this swirly paper because it reminded me of the card that I'm going to put in the other pocket with the swirls from Van Gogh. So that's one of the cards that are going to go in the pocket. Oh, and I made I put a little eyelet on my crocodile, and then I put on a little bit of this garland that I got at the dollar store. Okay, I'm going to make one more of those cards. I'm going to use another Halloween vampire theme, and I'm going to put some more education on the back about common vampire bats after I line it with this swirly paper. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. First I have to cut the paper. Do I have a bat story? Let me think. Well, I worked in a school building that is 120 years old, and it had a huge attic where we used to store supplies like for our Christmas play and things. And there were many bats that lived up in the attic, and everybody knew this. Sometimes you can hear them up there. But one day, one of the teachers came running into me. Said, "Pat, Pat, Pat, there's a bat in the toilet." And on the second floor, my room was right next to the teacher's room. A bat, I guess apparently looking for a drink of water, I don't know, overnight, had wound up in the toilet in the teacher's room, and it was flapping around, and it was exhausted, and it couldn't get out. So I had a large fish tank in my classroom, so I had some fish nets, so I went in to the bathroom with 2 big fish nets, and I fished out the bat. Now the bat was just exhausted, probably flapping around in that toilet half the night. And so I opened up the window in the teacher's room there, and I put it out on the ledge in the sun so it could warm up and dry off. And after it rested up and warmed up and dried off, it flew away. Probably back up into the attic again. But that was a really spooky attic. I've been up there a few times. And a really old, magnificent 120-year-old school. Lots of memories there. So here's what the Patty Goes Batty 2-page spread looks like completed. I kind of changed every plan that I started with, but that's okay. I kind of change things as I go along. And I still have my pocket, but I changed the picture and I added distress. Here are my 2 pull-out cards with bat information on the back and really fun Batty accessories on there. And they go inside, so this is kind of a really fun but educational page. And instead of putting the garland at the top, I put it on the pocket. I made it real wavy and funky. I put some purple shimmer around the edge of the page. And I showed this to you before. The Van Gogh, here's the bat illustration from the original book. So that'll go in there. And then I took the bottom half of this, which was on here, and I added the face of the vampire bat and the full moon, and there's a little tiny bat way up in the corner there. And on the back I put the picture of the Dracula poster from 1980, and these are just going to go in, tuck in the pocket like that. So I know this doesn't make much sense all by itself, but when you add it to the memory book, so you can see all the sparkle and shine and jewels, and it's just a whole lot of fun doing the silliest things that I can do. Adding Halloween pictures and pumpkins and monsters and glitter and sparkle and all kinds of things. It's not done yet, but it's getting there. And fantasy. Those pages have to be done. And then these got finished. And I have a couple down here towards the end with the witches, another pocket, and my Frida Kahlo page. So it's getting there. It's also getting very fat already. I probably only have about half the pages done. There's my little bats poking up out of the top. So thanks for joining me today. Happy junk journaling, happy crafting, happy gluing, and happy Halloween.